I wanted to ask everybody really quick, has anybody seen Joe Biden lately? Like, where are you, man? Are we still paying you a salary? Ever since you dropped out and Kamala took your spot for the candidate for 2025, I don't know where you have gone. I don't see any news about you. I don't see you talking about anything. I don't see press conferences. You've just gone away. We can't find you, man. What are you, dead? You got a double standing in there for you? I don't know, man. I mean, I saw one video where he's like 7 foot tall. We've got some WNBA player with a mask on acting like Joe Biden. You think Russia and China don't see this stuff? How about the Taliban? Do you think the Taliban are like, oh man, Joe Biden's such a strong president, we should definitely not try anything? Well, actually, they're doing a bunch of parades right now. Maybe it's because Joe Biden can't be found. Let's check it out.
دا د امریکایي اشغال د هیواد د ازادۍ او فتحې په دې مراسمو کې د اسلامي امارت هوایي ځواکونه هم پوځي نمایشات ترسره کوي او د زمیني ځواکونو ملاتړ کوي. هوایي ځواکونه په اوسني عصر کې د یو هیواد د دفاع له اساسي عناصرو ګڼل کېږي. اسلامي امارت د هوایي ځواک تقویې، ترمیم او پراختیا ته کلک تعهد لري او په تېرو 3 کلونو کې یې ګڼ شمېر څرخکې او الوتکې ترمیم او د پرواز وړ ګرځولي دي. بینندگان و شنوندگان مراسم، اینک کندک دوم تانگاهای زیری جاریدار آمریکایی که در میدان نبرد سینه دشمن را میشکافد با نظم و دیسیپلین عالی.
Oh, nice. Looks like they're preparing for something, but you know it seems weird? It seems like all of that shit is our shit. You know, Joe, I don't know if you're alive, but we're talking to you anyways. You know the stuff that you left in Afghanistan during the botched withdrawal? Remember that? Of course you don't. We left around $90 billion worth of tax dollars in Afghanistan. They're literally having parades, throwing up a middle finger at us, saying, we have all your stuff, come and get it. You know what's just fascinating to me? Joe Biden's presidency has had a couple of highlights, but one of the biggest highlights is him consistently calling for the ban of assault weapons and disarming Americans. That's what Kamala wants to do. He loves gun control. Minus, I don't know, people having a double-barrel shotgun. And they are absolutely hell-bent on disarming America. It's what they want to do. If you were so hell-bent on disarming us, why wouldn't you go try to collect the weapons that you left from a terrorist organization? Why wouldn't you try to do that? Don't you think it's more worrisome that there is a terrorist organization that has $90 billion worth of weapons, not just assault weapons like you call them, M4s, armored vehicles, tanks, Black Hawk helicopters? I mean, look, Joe, I'll make you a deal, man. If Americans can have all this stuff and you just completely leave our Second Amendment alone, we'll forgive you for leaving all of this money and gear in Afghanistan. Because my thought process is, if you were okay with a terrorist organization having all this stuff and not doing anything about it and just saying fuck it, then, I mean, at some point you've got to be able to say, you know what? Yeah, American citizens, they should be able to have all this stuff. Why? Because, well, it says it in our Second Amendment. That's the first and only reason. But if you need an additional one, our own president left $90 billion worth of gear in our tax dollars in Afghanistan. Let's not forget about all the cash that was left out there too. We live in a time in this country where tyranny is very popular within our government. They do not respect the citizens and they want complete control. And it doesn't just stop with our guns. It goes into several things, including things that we put into our body. One of those things is NMN from Black Forest Supplements. I've been taking this for about 5 months. This has been deemed anti-aging, helps with age-related weight gain, blood pressure, cell reproduction, and it is so good to the point where the FDA is trying to control this and classify it as a drug. It's tyrannical. And the reason why they want to do it is because they want to take this and charge 5 times the amount so they can profit on it. So I've asked Black Forest to give y'all an awesome deal. Here's what it is. For the next 48 hours, you buy 2, you get 1 free. There's going to be a linking code below the video. There's no telling how much longer we're going to be able to buy this stuff, so go stock up. For the people out there who are like, oh man, thank God Joe Biden is not running anymore, Kamala is worse on this. Listen to her on the Afghanistan withdrawal.
Biden always said that he wants you to be the last person in the room, particularly for big decisions, just as he was for President Obama. He just made a really big decision. Afghanistan.
Yes.
Were you the last person in the room?
Yes.
And you feel comfortable?
I do.
I'm sorry, Kamala, but what the fuck do you know about exiting a country in a militarized fashion? What do you know about that? You're the last person in the room being like, yeah, I mean, I guess we did a good job. Or, no, we should do this. On one of the biggest withdrawals ever from a country where we had military presence. You should be sitting there in the corner saying, does anybody need a coffee? No, this plan wasn't good. Let's figure out a better plan. You know, simple stuff. I'll tell you what I think this is. I think countries honestly think they have a big stick at this point. The Taliban is on a super low level compared to China, Russia, but that's what this is. They're having a big old standoff to essentially just flop it on Joe Biden's desk. What did we do when China and Russia were doing a joint military exercise off the coast of Alaska? The first ever. The first one they did ever. What did we do? We sent a couple of planes up there and we said, it's not that big of a threat. Really? America, biggest and best military. Guess who's behind us? China and Russia. What do you think would happen if they teamed up together? Do you think we would be able to control it? Sure, we have the best military in the world, but that's probably up against one other military. If the two that are the biggest behind us join together, we're kind of screwed if they just decide to attack us. And honestly, with our leadership, it kind of doesn't seem like it's that far off. I mean, if you're a communist country and then if you're Russia and you want to be the world's superpower, you're probably going to have to take us out or at least humble us. I don't know, man, but this country and the leadership in this country really better figure it out and start focusing on stuff that matters and less on woke crap and calling each other by their pronouns and all that stuff, because that stuff really doesn't matter. Lives matter. And if we get into a war with the Taliban or Russia or China or all of them, we're screwed.